Right. Call to order. Start with the roll call.
Mr. Bordenaro,
Here.
Mr. Fernandez,
Here.
Mr. Grady,
Here.
Ms. McNair,
I saw.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Paradis.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay. I don't think there's anybody on, Kevin, right? So may I have a motion to approve the July 8th, 2025 regular meeting minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 8th 2025 regular meeting.
Second?
Second.
Any further discussion, comments? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, so moved. May I have a motion on E1, Jerry?
I move to transfer 192,000 as detailed on the accompanying spreadsheet to be attached to the minutes to cover year-end transfers and identified accounts pending the approval of the Board of Finance.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Kevin, I just had a quick question on the first item with the police car or vehicle, whatever. Is that an FY25 capital item, or is, I know we put 70,000 in the FY26 using the Berlin High School, renovation funding balance. Is that something in addition to that vehicle?
It is in addition. They had a relationship with a provider, and going back 5 years when they signed up, they agreed to pay an amount up front, which would cover them for ongoing maintenance. With the transition in some of the leadership, that information wasn't communicated, and so they have a surplus in the 25 budget related to that. And they asked to move the $39,000 over to vehicles. Vehicles and the equipping the vehicles are coming in more expensive than they have been historically. And so the police requested to take that surplus, move it over there, and then going forward, they will budget a lower amount since they don't need that money.
So the police vehicle is an FY25 purchase in effect then? Is that what we're saying? Versus
Yeah, they did actually get approval to purchase a vehicle at the last council meeting. So this would help to kind of equip the vehicle as well.
Okay.
To the extent it's not needed, it would stay in capital non-recurring. It'd be used for the next police vehicle.
Okay, all right, okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, so moved. Jerry, on item E2?
Move to appropriate a $61,750 state of Connecticut OSWA grant to the Fontanella property account in the capital non-recurring fund.
Second,
Second.
discussion? Okay,
Buying a property, is that what this is?
It is, it's, the family doesn't want to keep the property anymore, so the town had the first option. They came to the town. They had an appraisal. So between this grant, a $20,000 donation from the Berlin Land Trust, and about $15,000 to $20,000 of local funding. And I say about because it's going to cost $100,000 to buy, but the balance of the money will be for closing costs. So legal, appraisal, and the like. This will help connect some of the area that already exists. There's a couple maps in the agenda showing the space, and it will avoid anybody else coming in and potentially building on the land. Even though it is a fair amount of wetlands, there's still that possibility for a modest amount of town money, really, at the end of the day.
So does the rest of the money that whatever get approved later on, the other 20,000 or?
The 20,000 actually was used, we're using the local match fund from FY25. So
Okay.
you had included some money in the budget, and we had set aside money for this.
Okay.
okay,
I think it's a great deal.
Yep.
Preserve that piece of property. I'm surprised because the rumor was that he had sold it to somebody else that was gonna build a house back there, so it's surprising that it's going the way it is. Good deal.
okay. Any other comments? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. I think I heard everybody's unanimous, so moved. There's some radio in the background, I don't know. Okay,
Not me.
okay. Kevin, is there anything on the finance director update or?
Just one thing I was gonna, well, two things. One, I included the VNA results for the end of the year, and while the revenue did come in lighter than we expected, this is the first time, I think since I've been here, that the loss was less than $500,000. I know
Yep.
500,000 is still a good amount of money, but the
Yep.
trend is going in the right direction. They have identified a few other places. As soon as the interim director finishes her schooling, which is expected by the end of the calendar year, we will be able to save a little bit more money on the consulting costs, as well as the training that we're paying for with her. So I think that's a positive trend, and they're continuing to look for areas to improve. And then, we're closing out the year, and I mentioned the Board of Ed returned about $1,450. But the good news is they were able to continue to buy the technology equipment that they buy at the end of the year. So that will be good for the students and teachers next year. Overall, I'm coming in lighter than what I was predicting before. We're closing out the year with a lot more invoices coming in later than expected. So I would project the surplus now to be around 350,000 to 400,000, much lighter. You could see, 192,000 of transfers today, as well as some other invoices coming in, but lighter than we had, but still substantial positive, and should still leave us north of 14% in fund balance as a percentage of next year's budget. So still a solid position for the town.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin?
Yeah, I still want to see the things that we did. I think it was last year, the graphics with the VNA, with the people, the patients in town, out of town. We only did it one time, and I think we got away from it. I don't know why, because honestly, that made more sense for us to see where the things are going in terms of patients and so on and so forth. I like to see that being brought back, especially since we were about at the end of the year.
One of the things, I did have a meeting with the VNA and the interim director, and one of the things they have in their bylaws is information, privacy information, and not sharing it. So I think we need to have a conversation, and I can invite the interim director to come in and have a conversation with you with what they would be willing to share given their bylaws. She wasn't aware of the bylaws either, or that provision in the bylaws, that a lot of the information that was contained there is not publicly disseminated.
Yeah, I don't want to know who they are. I just want to know how many patients are in Berlin, how many patients are outside of Berlin, and what is the cost of patient. I don't need to know who they are, what their ailment is. None of that matters. It's to me, it's like numbers on this spreadsheet, except more detailed form. That's all we're asking. At least that's what I don't know if you guys are in agreement or not.
I guess there's a difference between bylaws and state laws too. They set their own bylaws by the commission that oversees them. So what, they can set bylaws to not share any information with us that they don't want to share because it's difficult? Yeah, that's not a state law. That's their own doing if they have a bylaw to that degree. There's no HIPAA issues, state law issues. We should be concerned with state law issues, HIPAA issues, not something they constructed within their own commission because they don't feel like sharing that information. It should be a state requirement that they don't share whatever they can't share. If they can't share by their bylaws, they should look to change their bylaws. It's in their control.
I think if we have some items that they are not going to share with us, I think we should invite the town attorney to make sure that he, let him make a decision as to whether it's available to us, and I think it would be. But at some point, if they're gonna play hardball, I think we have to get the town attorney involved.
I agree.
Yep.
Okay, well, you got your comments on that one, Kev, so. All right,
that was all I
Yeah,
had.
I
for
don't
the
see
update.
why we can't produce a year-end report, and frankly, I didn't see any problem with what we're getting, so let's just have some follow-up on that, okay?
Mhm.
All right, anything else for Kevin?
Before we adjourn, Kevin, can I talk to you for a minute or two afterwards?
Sure.
Okay,
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
second,
Second.
those in favor?
Aye.
All right, everyone, enjoy your August.
Have a good
Okay,
one.
take
Good night.
care,
Good night.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
so Kevin, you're still there.